You fired up about flag football?
I don't know. Should I be?
I went back and I found our episode. I think it was from the summer on where we were creating like the Italian. I think we created
Oh,
the Italian
yeah.
Olympic team and the
Yes. Yes.
Irish Olympic team.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that right?
yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Because
another
the
that's
Irish
another
team,
thing.
the Irish team was kind of loaded, if I remember right.
Irish team
Brady,
is doing all right.
McCaffrey. Yeah,
Brady and McCaffrey. That's the other thing on the table here, correct? We're going to at
yeah.
least
They're gonna
hammer
vote.
out some sort of an
Yeah, yeah.
idea.
So they're gonna vote on allowing players to play in the Olympics in flag football, and it's going to be limited to one player per team, I believe. I don't know how that's going to work as far as like stocking the teams for other countries. I don't know how you qualify for this. Does that mean again? Like I think the example we brought up was Mike Piazza, I believe, played for the like Olympic,
It's
the Italian
yeah,
Olympic
the
baseball
Italian
team.
team in the Olympics. Yeah.
Right. Like, so like, I think that was, so like, if you're not on the US team, then can you go play for another team based on your heritage or whatever? I don't know. Um, I think like it's important though to realize what this is about, which again, this is about business for the NFL.
Yeah.
This is about having a sport that is very, very difficult to export. This isn't soccer or basketball. Soccer or basketball, you put up a goal, you put up a hoop, you give kids a bag of balls, and you let them play.
Right.
Um, those sports have like, and soccer was sort of always this way, but those sports have been able to become so ubiquitous across the globe because they export so easily. You know what I mean? Like you can go to any country. There's not a lot of infrastructure involved. You just go out, let them play, figure out who the best athletes are. Maybe a few of them fall in love with the game, and boom, now you've got Luka Doncic, in the NBA. Now you got Dirk Nowitzki in the NBA. Now you got players from all over the globe playing soccer. So how do you get around that if you're the NFL? Well, the NFL is actually interesting. In Canada, the NFL is kind of a prep school sport because it's not a given that everybody's going to have equipment. It's not a
Right.
given that every school is going to be willing to pay for the insurance for it the way it is here. It's almost like the
Right.
reverse of hockey, where hockey is like very much a prep school sport in the U.S. and a blue collar sport in Canada. So football is very difficult to export. So how do you get around that? You try to legitimize flag football, which is what
Right.
they're doing, which is like, all right, like that's a way we can, try to engage, young girls that maybe become our fans when they're women. That's a way to engage people overseas and try to get people overseas playing. That's really what this is. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, and so the NFL's put all of this investment and effort behind trying to legitimize flag football for that reason. I don't know how good a product it's going to be quite honest with you. I mean, I don't know if I'll watch, I don't watch 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics, for example. I don't know.
No, we had Jimmer Fredette as the star of our 3-on-3 basketball team.
Yeah.
Like in the Olympics. I'm sorry.
But if you're a team, how would you feel about like sending, your star player over there? Like, okay, for a month before training camp, say your coach's job's on the line. Do you think he's cool with like, okay, well, yeah, like we're all in for this year and good luck saving your job, but we're gonna put your best player on the US Olympic flag football team. So he's gonna spend a month before training camp playing in that training for that. He's not going to be doing any of his training for the NFL season. So who knows what shape you're going to get him in if he does make it through and he isn't injured. It's just really interesting. I mean, I don't know. I think this is like sort of part of like the NFL's big picture globalization strategy, where in the smaller picture, I don't know if people are going to watch it, A, and B, I don't know how receptive teams are going to be to having their players go over there. And by the way, I'm not sure it's a great idea for the players to do it either, unless you're somebody who's got like a ton of job security.
We're also ignoring, we're ignoring a few things, but first I just have like a funny observation that like, okay, like if this great NFL player goes over and plays for like Italy and you go from having like Sean Payton as your head coach to like Fabrizio de, whatever, like some, Italian guy that just picked up flag football like 6 months ago and is just like telling him what to do. I don't know. I just get like a big kick out of that, but we're ignoring the fact that flag football and you've brought this up on the show, Albert. You went to a elite flag football tournament with your fraternity, I believe, at some point in
Yeah,
time.
so I brought that up. Yeah, so
Yeah,
we won our fraternity league, and so that was funny. A bunch of guys who played high school football. None of us that have. Well, I guess some of my friends did play at a pretty high level. I had a buddy who played at St. Ignatius in Cleveland and all that. So some of them did, but not me. And so like we won our fraternity league, and so then we put a team in to the Nike League at Ohio State, which was like, I guess, a way, like if you played in the Nike League, you could kind of break, like that was like a, you win that league and you go into some sort of national bracket, right? I mean, we got the freaking break speed off of us. And
right.
it was like, because it didn't even resemble football, what they were doing. It was a zillion laterals and pitches. And it was like these little guys that are like, I, it was just, it wasn't even close to like what you would think of what like flag football was at recess in fifth grade. You know what I mean? Like it's not the
That's what
same
I'm
thing.
saying. And so it's not Olympic flag football. If we're obsessed with this idea of like, oh, it'll be sick, like Pat Mahomes throwing to Justin Jefferson, that team is going to get its ass kicked
Right.
because
Well, because your
it's
size doesn't matter, your strength doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, your size would matter, I guess, for catching the ball, but I don't know. It's I think there's a pie in the sky. This is a pie in the sky idea as far as
and
I'm concerned.
ultimately, like let's take a big picture view of this. Big picture. Ultimately, if we enter a team of NFL stars into flag football, which is a totally different game than regular football, and we lose to, I don't know, the Netherlands in the
Yep.
quarterfinals, we are the
So
USSR to another team's US Olympic hockey.
so
You know what I mean? Like we are and as we try to globalize it, how
so he,
embarrassing is that we don't come out here like the dream team and pound everybody by 40
right.
points?
Right. And so here's the deal too, right? I I coach youth football. I've coached the last 2 years. It's a blast. But I do have this discussion with parents that are thinking about, their kids playing. And I say to them, and I think you probably had the same experience I did, which is I would say the gap between what a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old thinks football is and what it actually is bigger than exists in any other sport. It is like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, because they all think they're going to be running around out there like Tyreek Hill. And the reality is, like, once they put the helmet and the pads on, the first thing we're working on is blocking and tackling and hand placement and all those sorts of things. And so I I say that because like that's the difference. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and these kids have an idea of what football is that we're working with because they're all playing flag. It is not even close to the same thing. You
Right.
know, it is legitimately a different sport. It would be, I don't know what you would compare. I don't know if there is a comparison,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, like I think it's like you're right. Like I don't think it's the same type of athlete that would I don't think the same type of athlete that excels
No.
in tackle football necessarily excels in flag.
That's it. I don't know. It's so funny because you just picture like like Disney's Miracle on Ice, but it's like whatever. It's like a Japanese movie and it's about like the Japanese flag football team destroying the Americans, you know. We're
Well,
just
and it's
like
just like, doesn't it like kind of like, I don't know. The Olympics are pretty prestigious. Aren't you just sort of turning it into a circus too? If you have like, say like I don't know, say like the Danish national team is really good or whatever, and they practice year round and they're playing year round, and then you've got like a bunch of, and then we're rolling out there with like a bunch of like 6'3", 230-pound dude. Like, isn't that just sort of a big circus?
it's a big circus. It's gonna be like again, like I think this leads good into our kind of our big picture NFL
Yep.
discussion here in a second. But like there needs to be some restraint. Like I get it during this Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics, the NFL is always looking over, being like, okay, well they're stealing our thunder a little bit. Or an election year, it's like, oh, okay, they're stealing our thunder a little bit this year. That's not cool. How do we get in there and do this? But sometimes you have to let it go. Every 4 years, you gotta just let it go, because I think that this is overall going to be bad for the sport. You could get injured, you could get embarrassed, you could get, like you said, you could get blown out. How okay, is Patrick Mahomes going to be our flag football quarterback, and then is he going to spend the whole offseason learning new rules, new footwork for flag football has got to
Right.
be totally different. And
And
then
is
it's
that
just like
good for him as an NFL player to do
it's
that?
like having your best hitter in the home run derby in Major League
Right.
Baseball, right? It's like, do you want him to alter his swing at a critical point during this? All this stuff. I don't know. I think it's bad. Let it go. You know what we should get good at? Why don't we major in breakdancing? Like let's take some of those things, or I don't know, man. It just doesn't feel like it makes a whole lot of sense.